In today's video, we're going to walk you through the biggest and most common landing page mistakes I see inside Google Ads or even with landing pages in general, and what you can do to fix these mistakes to minimize the amount of wasted spend inside your campaigns and to maximize the amount of conversions that you're getting. And the first thing you want to do is make sure that your landing page actually loads quickly, because if somebody clicks on your ad and it takes them longer than 3 or 4 seconds to land on the page, then the chances are that they'll just get impatient and bounce off the page. So what you want to do is take your landing page URL and go to a website called Page Speed Insights. And it's the first result you see at the top of the page here, where you can basically go in and enter your URL and do a speed test. And now we've actually made a video really recently on the channel that goes into, more detail on all the specific metrics that you get a result for, but you just want to use this as a test to make sure that your landing page works okay and that there isn't any major delays in the loading speed of your landing page. So a landing page that doesn't load quickly is mistake number one. And the second mistake is not having social proof on your landing page. So what I like to have at the very top of the page on desktop between the logo and the call button is saying that we're 5-star rated on whatever platforms that you have reviews on, and you can have the logos for the review platforms as well. And if, for example, you have above 20 reviews, then it would also be worth mentioning, for example, 5-star rated based on 30 plus Google reviews to add in those trust factors from the very beginning. And there are multiple ways of showing social proof and building up trust from the very beginning. You can also, have a 100% satisfaction guarantee, but your 5-star reviews are always going to be the best way of doing so. And if possible as well, what's also worth doing is incorporating our 5-star review into the hero section, which is the top part of the landing page that you see here. So if you manage to get a screenshot of one of your reviews in here, alongside mentioning how many reviews you have at the top, then you have a really strong hero section. But you can have more 5-star reviews then as you go down the page. And what I'd almost recommend doing rather than, having your benefits right below the hero section is almost pushing these reviews further up, because I'd argue that these are more important than, just benefits of why they would choose you. So I'd almost have, screenshots of your 5-star reviews directly below your hero section. So you're adding in those trust factors from the very beginning. Because if people don't feel like they can trust your company when they land on the landing page, then it's far less likely that they'll fill out the form or call you to say that they're interested in getting a job done. The next mistake I see people often make is not having clarity in their headlines. And by that, I mean either just having, some like fluffy or like kind of buzzwords that don't really mean anything, or else just not having a specific enough headline that's really relevant to what you offer. So, let's just say if you are running, a roofing campaign, for example, you don't want to just have one landing page that's just saying like, affordable and reliable roofing services. Instead, you want to have separate landing pages for each of your ad groups with headlines that are highly specific to the keywords and ad copy of that ad group. So if somebody searches for a roof repair, for example, they'll see an ad that says roof repair, and then they'll also get brought to a landing page that says roof repair. So right from the very beginning, when they land here on your hero section, they're going to feel like they're in the right place because the headline matches up exactly with what they search for. So another mistake I see is not having specific enough headlines that are not relevant enough to the problem that the customer has. So it's always worth taking the time to have separate landing pages for every service with a separate headline in each. And honestly, as long as you have, separate headlines in each of your landing pages, then almost everything else on the landing page can be more or less the same, as long as you have headlines that are highly relevant to the ad group in question. You don't need to do anything fancy with your headline either. Simply having something like affordable and reliable specific service in the area that you're targeting is, more than enough, and just clearly outlines that you can solve the problem that they have, and they'll just feel like they're in the right place from the very beginning. The next mistake I often see is that, while you might have a great headline at the top of the page in your hero section, is that there is no clear call to action as soon as somebody lands on the page. And you don't want for people to have to scroll down to either call or fill out the form, because statistically, a lot of the users that land on your landing page aren't even going to scroll below this section in the first place. So you want to make it as easy as possible for the user to convert into a lead each time they land on the page. And whatever call to actions you have, whether it's a call button or the option to fill out a form, you want to have that, more or less right in front of the customer as they land on the page, and just make the process as seamless as possible. So you don't want to have to go all the way down to the bottom of the page, for example, to be able to call and get in touch for a quote. you want to have multiple of those call to actions across the page, and you definitely want to have it at the top of the page as well, where they can see it most. And similarly as well, another mistake I see, along with, needing to have your call to actions in the right place and having relevant content, I also see many landing pages that just have too many distractions with too much information or sections that are just not relevant to the action that we want them to take next. So this can be in the form of, having a website as a landing page with, your about us section at the top, your services, your contact, and you have so many different links that you can click on where you don't actually know, what you're supposed to do next, and you're not making it really clear what this landing page is all about. You don't want the user to be wondering like which page should I click on to learn more, because if they get overwhelmed with the amount of information that they see, then they're just more than likely to bounce off the page and not convert at all. So you really want to keep your landing pages as simple as possible and only focus on like what actually matters. And so not having any links to any other pages that are not relevant, and also not having too much information on the landing page either. You do want to have some extra text the more you scroll down the page about, what you're offering for those that want to learn more, but you don't need to have, massive chunks of text that go into just too much detail. You only need to give enough detail so that, they can make the decision of whether they want to inquire and learn more to get a quote, for example, if you're offering a service. Another common mistake I see then as well is that, the landing page might be designed perfectly on desktop, like you see here, but then when you go to mobile, it's just almost like a complete mess. And at the very beginning, you want to make sure that your landing page is also optimized for mobile. And all the core fundamentals that you'd expect to see on desktop, you want to make sure that that's lined up perfectly on mobile as well. Because when it comes to your landing pages, over 70% on average of the visitors that you get from the clicks on your ads are going to be to mobile. So I'd almost argue that your mobile landing page is actually more important than your desktop. So you really want to make sure that your mobile landing page is also fully optimized. Another thing I see then as well is that somebody might want to get in touch and, fill out the form to get a free quote, but they're asked about 10 different questions and they get asked something too complicated that they don't know the answer to. And then, halfway through filling out the form, they just don't even convert because it's just too much effort. And what you really want to do is make this process as seamless as possible and only ask for what's really necessary. Once they convert into a lead, you can always call up the customer and, ask them more specific details about what you need to give them a quote, for example. But asking all of those questions inside the form is just more likely going to contribute to a lower conversion rate instead. So instead, I'd only focus on what really matters. And, in some cases, you could even ask for the postcode, but a lot of the time, you don't even have to. You could just ask, for example, for their name, phone number, email, and, a bit of a message about how they can help. So that way, then you're getting their contact information, you're getting a bit more context about what they're looking for, and you're making it as easy as possible for them to get in touch. Another common mistake I see as well that, really should be avoided at all costs because it's something you want to make sure, is set up correctly before you even launch a campaign is not tracking conversions accurately. So if somebody calls you from your landing page or if somebody fills out the form, is that being tracked as a conversion by Google Ads? And alternatively, are you tracking the wrong conversions as conversions in Google Ads as well? Because we also see cases where, people track, clicks to the contact page on the website as a conversion. And, those aren't relevant conversion actions for service-based businesses. In most cases, we only care if somebody actually contacts us. So we want to make sure that our conversion tracking is set up correctly from the very beginning. And we have videos that cover, tracking both form submissions from our landing page and phone calls from our landing page as well, if you'd like to check those out. Now, another common landing page mistake we see as well is not having any offer below the headline. And an offer is always something that we'd recommend including. And it doesn't have to be anything crazy where you're offering a crazy discount, or you don't even always have to offer, a time limit on how long this offer lasts. You can simply offer something like, even just get a free quote today, or if you're offering a service that's more high ticket, for example, you're offering, bathroom remodels or kitchen remodels or something like that, then a free design consultation, for example, would be a really good offer for one of those services. Because if what you offer is, a really expensive service, then the customer a lot of the time might not know exactly what they're looking for yet. So a design consult might be a great way to, get them to take the next micro commitment to either call you or fill out the form, but without, taking the full commitment commitment to deciding, okay, I'm gonna, pay for the service right away. Because we're not looking to sell the customer on our landing page. We're only looking for them to take the next micro commitment. So with your offer here, what can you think of that would encourage them to just take the next micro commitment and, for example, just get a free, no obligation, free consultation, things like that, that are, a really easy commitment because they don't have to commit to anything just yet, but we're still able to maximize the amount of leads we're getting. And having an offer below your headline is a great way to do that. And another mistake we also mentioned already, having too much text on your landing page because you don't want to overwhelm the user with information, and we don't need, to add any fluff that's just not necessary. And the last mistake as well that I have noticed in a lot of cases is just not having clear benefits of why they should choose you. So in your hero section, for example, you can have 3 to 5, bullet points of like the core reasons why they should choose you, and try and be as specific as possible with this as well. Think about, why would they choose me over any of my competitors, and list those as bullet points here, because people skim through text, and having just clear, easy to read bullet points like this and not having huge blocks of text will just help you stand out a lot more than your competitors. So when it comes to your text on your landing page, having like, lists of benefits like this rather than big chunks of text will really help, get more engagement on your landing page, and, increase the likelihood of you getting a conversion into a lead as well. Now, I hope these landing page common mistakes, gave you a bit more clarity as well on what you can do with your own landing pages to improve their overall performance. And if you do have any questions about landing pages or any other aspects of Google Ads in general, feel free to leave a comment down below. And if you do like this kind of Google Ads related content as well, feel free to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, as we'll be posting all things related to Google Ads here daily. And hopefully, we'll see you in the next video.